Hey there, welcome to the Gyro Step, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN. I am one of your hosts, Ty Windisch, joined as always by the saucy Rohan Katti. Going with saucy after your last pod performance, and you warned me up front, let's get bold when we talk play-in later on in the pod. So, saucy Rohan, how's it going?
Doing well. I don't know if anything I ever do is going to top those 3 rants that I had.
We'll see.
But those were one for the age. Make sure you check out last pod if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Because it is good content, I believe. Doing well, Ty. The NBA regular season's over. It's done. It's finished. I cannot believe we are here. It feels like just yesterday, maybe not yesterday, maybe like a few weeks ago that we
the Sixers win, Wes Matthews and all that stuff to start the season, and now it's over. And as we knew the last time we recorded, the Bucks did clinch the number 1 seed after that game, so we recorded right after that win. Really, I mean, we have Bucks news to talk about, but in terms of on the court, Milwaukee pretty much punted the last 2 games, which is not the norm for the Bucks, but also they're not used to having clinched this early in a season. And I think with just the amount of times they've been snake bitten by injuries in the last 2 weeks, probably a smart choice. They did have some rotation players. Jae Crowder plays both games. They had a couple guys in the rotation play the Raptors game, or at least most of the Raptors game. But Giannis doesn't play at all. Drew, of course, Khris Middleton, and Brook Lopez, which I wonder how hard it was to get Brook to sit. He doesn't play either game. So a lot of Lindell Wigginton, which was fun. A lot of Myers Leonard, which was less fun in those 2 games. Milwaukee does lose both, although they made it fun against Memphis. They hung in there. I think they had a lead at halftime, but
yeah, they did.
Memphis busted it out to 20 points within 1 quarter, and it was like, yeah, okay, they're playing John Morant, Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson played until the late 4th quarter of that game. I don't know if he's trying to catch Brook in minutes or what, but yeah, some sloppy games, but some fun games. But I think the most important news before we even talk about those games, honestly, I feel like this has kind of gotten buried. I don't know how many people are aware of it. That's why I wanted to put it up front in this pod, because it was like a Chris Haynes report Friday night during an NBA TV broadcast. The report itself was he thought the lighting was too bad. He was going to stop mid-report, but they got him to keep doing it. It was a pretty funny clip. But I've got the full quote here, Rohan, and it's actually really positive news. And I don't think we've heard too much outside of this either way, but I'm going to take this as very good. So this is Chris Haynes, who also dropped a great feature on Giannis we may have to talk about this weekend. Chris Haynes all over the Bucks beat this weekend. Thank you, Chris Haynes. But he said he had talked to Khris Middleton, and this was his report after doing so. Long quote. I'm going to do the whole thing. He said, look, it's all precautionary. He feels good. Khris Middleton said he's feeling good. He wants to get back as soon as possible. He expects to play the next game. I believe this meant the Raptors game, so game 82. That was me inserting that. Back to the quote. But Coach Bud doesn't know what they're going to do the next game. Spoiler alert, if you missed it, they were not playing any of the core 4 in that game, so Chris was ruled out with the same designation as the game before. Obviously, he did not play, but back to the quote now. But as far as playoffs are concerned, he's going to be out there. He said this is just a precautionary measure. The competitor in him wants to be there, but he understands. He described this Bucks team as being hungry. Felt like they left a golden opportunity out there last year when they couldn't repeat, but they feel like they're hungry. They're ready to get it going. He said it doesn't matter if they're the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed. They're going out there with tenacity, and he expects a fired-up club. Rohan, what was your reaction to this Chris Haynes report on Khris Middleton?
You can't take it as anything but a positive, right? I know the only other reporting we had gotten was, I think it was Woj or someone at ESPN had said that Khris Middleton hopes to begin his rehab for the next week and hopefully wants to be available. It was Shams?
Shams, because I think Shams got people panicking when they didn't have to. This is his new thing. I've noticed this. He doesn't put all the info, even if it's all out there. So his first tweet was like, Middleton has MRI, rehabs with hopes to be back by start of playoffs. He didn't put in there the MRI was clean. It was a precautionary MRI, and it came back with nothing. That was not in Shams' report. I also noticed Dwayne Casey announced he was moving to the Pistons front office, and Shams' tweet, which of course a bunch of people picked up because they have alerts on, Dwayne Casey out as Pistons head coach. That's not really what happened. That's pretty badly misidentifying. And it was all, Dwayne Casey said it. This wasn't like it came out in partial bits. Like, he just said it. He's like, hey, I'm going to the front office. This is my last game as coach. Kind of dirty to really misframe what happened like that. But anyway,
how else are you going to get those AT&T 5G commercials?
He's got to be ready, man.
He needs that nationwide coast-to-coast coverage tie so he can post that big news.
Listen, so he can, just maybe someday Elon will break the retweet button, and then Shams will be ready because he is operated like it doesn't exist this whole time. So credit to him, not really.
But yes, that news is very, very positive.
Do you buy it?
Khris Middleton. What?
Do you buy it?
I buy it. I mean, it's coming straight from the source.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like anyone else is we're saying sources say this. It's like, oh, by the way, Khris Middleton said, yeah, I'm good. I talked to Khris. He said he's good. He says, yeah, I'm probably going to play the next game. And if you interpret that as the Raptors game, like you mentioned, that's good. That's really good. Obviously, they didn't play. I don't even think Giannis, Drew, and Khris and some others even traveled to Toronto.
The core guys did not travel. I think everyone out didn't travel. But like Ingles, Portis, Javon, Crowder all played. But I think the other guys who sat out didn't even travel. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's got to spend some time with the fam on an Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to all those celebrate. I know that Orthodox Easter is next Sunday. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Happy
Easters to all, and to all a good day, I guess. Probably not
happy Monday,
everyone. Happy Monday too. Yeah.
Happy Gyro Step Monday.
Tax day this Friday. If any of you are like me, I haven't done mine yet, so make sure to get those taxes done.
Yes. So happy holidays to all. Tax day included.
I didn't mean to equate it to all. Just something about Khris. From the source, Khris is... The guys didn't travel.
Yes, Khris Middleton is back. He should be back for the first playoff game based on what he's saying, which is fantastic news. We were talking, I remember on our last episode, we were preparing saying, at least I was saying, this Bucks team is well equipped to handle winning games without Khris Middleton. Like, that's the mindset I was in. So this is fantastic news. You can't I'm very, very happy about this.
Yeah.
It's positive. It seems like the Bucks are doing what they do and then just being cautionary with all their guys. And it's the end of the season. You'd locked up the number 1 seed in the NBA anyway. So what is the point in going out there and maybe re-aggravating something? Why take that risk?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. And again, as others have said, the fact that he played for a little while, just wasn't feeling right, came out, and then the team ruled him out. I do think it makes sense that it was precautionary, and the timing of it being that the very next game was Memphis that the Bucks didn't intend on playing, and then the Sunday morning game, the Easter game, clearly they weren't taking seriously at all because, again, they had no reason to. I mean, the 1 seed, the best record in the league, there's literally nothing at stake besides a bigger number of wins, which, would it have been cool if Lindell and Crowder and everyone dug out 2 wins and they hit 60? Yes. I realized I'm not equipped to root for a horrible Bucks team again because some of these fan bases have to root for losses. And it was like, I was like, man, they're within 11 here. I think they can really make a run. AJ Green went out in the Grizzlies game and I was like, that's going to hurt the spacing. I don't know if they're going to be able to, I'm a sicko. I was way too invested in these wins. I don't know how, and they meant nothing. They meant literally nothing, but I just wanted them, man. But yeah, I think, honestly, we're at a point now where I feel strongly, clearly not sourced. My only reporting is injury reports these days when I refresh the media site faster than anyone else. But I feel like Pat and Khris are going to be able to play, but Grayson may not for game 1 of the first round. That's how I'm feeling right now.
I think that's fair. I think that's the best educated guess you can make with the available information. Especially considering they were saying, Bud was saying, hope if all goes 100% according to plan, Grayson would maybe have a chance to play game 1. That puts a little doubt on his game 1 availability, I should say. Especially considering, like I mentioned, this Bucks team is very, very cautious in what they do. They take all precautions necessary. They want the best and health for their players. So I doubt that Grayson plays game 1. I think Khris and Pat should be good to go then.
We hope so.
Do you think Khris comes off the bench?
I doubt it. Just because, we'll have to see. This whole year has been an odd situation for Khris, but it seemed to me like it was all tied to his minutes. And it's not like he's been deactivated for like another month here. He goes out of the third. Who did they beat to clinch the one seed now? The Bulls. I don't know why I was thinking Raptors. I know that was the last game of the year. He goes out against the Bulls. He misses 2 games. They're basically off for like 10 days, I think, between the Bulls game and the first playoff game. It will be Sunday, by the way. Probably the earliest game on Sunday, so clear your calendars on Orthodox Easter Sunday.
Why are we saying the earliest?
That's what they put out the NBA put out the schedule, and they put at Milwaukee as the top slot. It's not confirmed, but that's the way they lined it up.
It could change.
It could. What you think? They're gonna? Oh wow! Oh, Toronto made it. Let's put that in prime time. I think we might get shafted in this first round, Rohan. I don't think they're anticipating a very good series. Which, fair, honestly.
Bucks Raptors might be the first League Pass exclusive or something.
It's gonna be Quibi. It's gonna be right after the girl with the golden arm. We talked about that on pod. We don't have to do that again.
You can watch it both portrait and landscape. This NBA playoffs.
Knowing how League Pass works, the portrait mode would just be like it wouldn't be sized at all. It would either be a little box in the middle of the screen, or you would only see like the middle eighth of anyway.
And it would be the only version that worked. Landscape would be disabled.
Yeah. What was I talking about now?
I don't even know.
Bucks I don't think that
Bucks, whoever it is.
No, it was the Khris thing. I don't think the layoff would be long enough that he would have to ramp back up minutes wise. At least I hope not. I'm going to be scouring any practice clips we get from either the team or reporters over this week to see if we see. But I think if he's a full participant in practice, I think he's going to start. Especially because we know Grayson probably is not going to be ready to start, and I feel like you don't want to introduce 2 new starters. Depending on matchup, like I think Javon sneaking in there could be really, like if it's the Hawks, for example, Javon starting for Grayson could make a ton of sense in that series. Get Javon on Trey, and then you have Drew for DeJounte Murray. I think that really makes sense. I think Crowder, of course, is an option as well, but I would expect he does. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption to make. I mean, like you said, the minutes load probably won't be something he needs to ramp up for. It's just, I don't know. As long as he's there, as long as he's playing, well, we've seen even in the past few months, even if he's not starting, he'll still come in, make an impact. It'll be, I don't know. I think it'll be fine, especially considering they're going to be playing a play-in team in their first round series. Just get everyone good to go. It's going to be a sweep anyway. Go back to the last pod to listen to my rant about that. It should be very, very, very easy.
Yeah, I think so as well. And if he comes off the bench, I would expect that probably only happens during that first series. There are some people who think that is the ultimate form of Khris in this Bucks team. I am not one of them. Khris is not the 6th best player on the team. He should not come off the bench. It's that simple. When he's able to play enough minutes, which hopefully that will be the case right away. The other Chris Haynes Bucks reporting on Giannis, a fascinating. He just grabs Giannis, asks him about MVP. They were going to just do a walk and talk, and Giannis pulls him into the back friends and family room of the Bucks facility. Basically says, "I'm pissed off. I need to sit down if I'm going to talk about this." Have you read this thing, Rohan?
Yeah,
it's good. I think one of my favorite quotes is he said he would not mention anyone else to steer clear of any perceived slights. He also said this, quote, "But it doesn't even matter." He said 2 of his MVPs he won were his 2 worst statistical seasons. I don't necessarily think that's true. Maybe counting stats, but whatever. I'm not going to dither with Giannis about it. Back to the quote. "But it doesn't even matter. I've tried to avoid this conversation at all costs. I don't ever want to drive a narrative and have my kids seeing their father whining about an award because at the end of the day, it's all a part of history. I don't want to win that way." That's a pretty clear perceived slight, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like there's only one other guy who's been sort of doing that.
Yeah.
It's almost like of the top 3 MVP candidates, one is saying he doesn't even want to win it. What the other one's Giannis. And that leaves one other guy, Ty, who's just been complaining in the media, saying how badly he wants to win this.
But hey, he did hit all those shots against the Celtics that we did appreciate, which the 1 seed would have come down to the last day had he not done that, because Boston did beat Toronto twice. So if Embiid wants to, cry his way to an MVP, whatever. I still think it's stupid. Giannis did confirm. I think he said, "Hell bleeping, yeah, I won it." So he does want MVP every year. He's just not going to talk about it, which I think is the optimal place for a superstar player to be. This is the other, I think, best quote from the thing. He also said, maybe people are tired of me. I'm tired of me. Mariah's probably tired of me, which I thought was pretty funny. He also said this, quote, I'm extremely blessed to have 2 MVPs. I could pull out a lot of facts and data to make a case for myself on why I feel people are discrediting my game, but I'm here to win a championship, and that goal will never change. I will never go out here to create a narrative and say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the most handsome guy, and you should look this way because I'm the coolest. No, that's not me. I really believe from the bottom of my heart that eventually I'll get another one. Until then, I'm trying to get that second ring. Also, at the Bucks ceremony to honor him pregame on Friday, they didn't tell him, by the way, he said in here, he didn't know that was happening. So that was a nice surprise for Giannis because he is now the leading scorer, assister, and games playeder in Bucks history. He pointed and pretty much told the crowd he's going to get that second ring this year. So that kind of confirms the Khris report. This Bucks team, I don't think they're going to enter with maybe the same slow start that we've seen. I think they're pretty motivated to go get another one after the way last playoffs ended.
I think their slow start was this end to the regular season.
Yeah, seriously.
They took this time to recover, and now they're just okay. They've gotten full Game 6 Braun in Boston mode.
Oh, I love that. This is all fun and games until they're down in the fourth quarter of Game 1 against Chicago or something stupid like that. But I hope it's different. I hope we see a faster start. I hope we see more consistent offense this playoffs. I think some tweaks that will help with that. Brook being a better offensive player, Ingles and Crowder should help a lot with the offense as well. Playing Javon and the way he shot the ball. I think there's a lot of reasons for optimism that they are going to be able to blaze through this thing a little bit more. Anything else stand out to you from the Giannis article or any injury stuff?
I don't know. Also, it was speaking of that pregame ceremony, it was really cool to have Ray Allen back.
Yeah. And Jim and John Hammond. They got a lot of fun characters in the building for that.
Yeah, but isn't that the first time Ray Allen's come back?
Pretty sure. At least publicly. And really had a fantastic, phenomenal interview with Zora Stevenson mid-game. Usually I don't like when they don't show the game for something, but that game was not a real game. And the Ray stuff was really good. I mean, he spoke really candidly about saying he never had a problem with the city. He always loved playing here. Everything else, the way it ended, he didn't hold that against Milwaukee. And I think it seemed like he got
just hold that against George Karl.
Which he should. I mean,
which everyone in Milwaukee does.
Yeah, we do too. We're on the same page, Ray.
We all hate George Karl, Ray. We're all good.
A couple people were saying he might have to suit up for a couple of minutes in that game.
He looks good.
Yeah, I think he's going to look like that forever, honestly.
He looks incredible. We got the Giannis Ray Allen picture in Milwaukee. It's just it's fantastic. The vibes are immaculate, Ty, heading into this postseason.
This is what they need, a Ring of Honor. They need to start that because right now they only have retired numbers. And they can't retire Ray Allen's number, clearly, because it's Giannis Antetokounmpo's number now. But they need to honor Ray in some other way, I think. I mean, he was one of the central figure in one of the 4 successful periods in franchise history. So that they need to, I think, recognize that a little bit more. I mean, there's the 70s, the 80s, basically 2001, but they were a little good around that. And then, of course, now the Giannis and Bud era. Also, Bud putting himself in legendary company, as we've talked about, with all the winning, all the 1 seeds, everything else. So,
for sure, there needs to be something done to actually be able to sell. Michael Redd too.
Yep. Again,
his jersey's not going to get retired, obviously.
Yeah.
They just need to do something that they can do to celebrate these guys because they are pillars of the franchise and they should be treated as such.
Yeah, 100% agree. Let's talk about any takeaways from these 2 games. Bucks lost both to the Grizzlies and Raptors. Neither very, I'll say, mostly competitive. In the second halves, both of the other teams pulled away, but a pretty healthy. I mean, Steven Adams and Brandon Clark are out, but the Grizzlies were playing their guys for most of the game. And the Raptors, I think they were without Fred VanVleet and Siakam, but they were playing Trent. I know Anunoby might have not played either, but they played Trent, Scotty Barnes, a lot of their players as well. Pirtle, I think, played in that game as well. Both games pretty close through half, and then the other teams kind of pulled away in the third and fourth quarters. A lot of Thanasis, a lot of Lindell. I thought Lindell looked really good. Did you see the history he made?
Yeah, he was the first, 20 and 10 guy off the bench? No, or in his first career start?
In his first career start since Isaiah Thomas. Pistons Isaiah Thomas. The good one.
Old Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Bigger Isaiah Thomas.
More. Nah, I'm not gonna hate him.
Okay. But congrats to Lindell, who I thought his finishing looked really good. I think the shot is still his biggest question, but I think we're throwing him in the locked room with some other guys with the Noah, I think, and hopefully Lindell can stick around with the Bucks over the offseason and have a shot to compete for one of those, 15 spots next year versus one of the 17 that he's been on these last couple of years.
Yeah. I think the Bucks should just buy the Noah technology so no one else can use it.
Honestly,
like Jimmy has them. If you want to prove that you're all in spending wise, just buy Noah.
Yeah, buy him out and only put him in the Bucks stuff.
Yeah.
Is that the new I can never remember his name. The Dirk shooting coach, like that was the huge advantage for the Mavericks. England? No, there was a German.
No,
guy.
It was Holger.
Holger, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the new Holger or Chip England is just the Noah technology. Honestly, yeah.
I mean, why not? Am I promoting monopolization here? I have no idea, but here I am.
We'll forgive it in this one case.
Swiftly. But Lindell looked really good. It was fun seeing TA out there after all the noise, that's like the discourse that's been happening.
Can we just talk about quickly, like, TA is an NBA player. I think people take it too far. We all know why he's on the roster. We all get it. But, like, when he plays, like, he's not – it's not like you're like, oh, he shouldn't be on the court at all. Like, he's had a 20 and 10 game. He had a double-double. He had a 27-point game last season. Like, his athleticism is top percentile. He gets a couple dunks every game. He's a good, if over-aggressive defender. He's not the worst player on the Bucks 15-man roster. He's not the worst player in the league. Is he a rotation caliber player? No. There's a lot of those in the NBA. So the fact that Gary had to pretend to be doing some actual substantial work, something that mattered, which has not happened in years, to just shit on TA was just stupid. And I saw Giannis, who I know Giannis doesn't usually control his own posting. I think the Bucks do a lot of his posting for him. I think he did one himself because he put like hell yeah or fucking A TA or something like that. He was pretty fired up about one of the TA box scores. But yeah, I mean, he looks like TA. Is he going to play a rotational role in the Bucks next season? No.
Yes.
But is he important to the team? I mean, yes. Giannis talked about what he does for the team and his spirits and how everyone likes him. We know how much he does for Giannis in particular, coaching him up during timeouts and keeping him focused. Like, it's just pointless to litigate TA's position on the team. I think it's just dumb.
It is really dumb, and I'm glad TA got to go out there and actually show, by the way, I'm an actual NBA player.
Yeah.
By the way, also, just in general, the last day of the regular season was wild.
Drunk. We'll talk about the Wolves with the play-in thing. Haslam shooting threes.
Dunking?
Haslam they should have played him, dude. Like they played some pretty bad centers over him this year.
Like he should have maybe suited up more. Like this, you mentioned the shooting threes. I think him catching a lob is more impressive than that.
Yeah, I remember. Didn't Hero try to throw him one and he just like crumbled down?
He just fell out of bounds.
Yeah,
that was like 2 seasons ago or something. But it's just like, that's also another guy. Udonis Haslem, he's in the league.
Yeah, apparently he's pretty good.
Pinson's
I don't know.
In the league.
Theo Pinson had a triple-double.
Yeah.
Last day of the season stuff, man. Cam Thomas had another 48-point game. Theo Pinson had a triple-double.
Oh, my God. Peyton Pritchard had a 30-point triple-double?
He did it for him, Havlicek, and Bird are the only three players to have his stat line in Celtics history. It's going to be a great piece of trivia someday.
Maybe that's why he requested a trade.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm ready to fly here.
Yeah. You guys aren't putting me in the rarefied air that I clearly deserve to be in with John Havlicek, Larry Bird, and me.
Fast PP. I'll tell you, if I was the best PP in Celtics history, many are saying. The only PP in Celtics history to put up that stat line. That's the truth.
It is.
If I was an NBA GM and my roster was just terrible, I would trade like 4 seconds for Cam Thomas and just like, maybe he's a star after all. I don't know. You play him 40 minutes, he gets you 40 points.
Yeah. I mean, why not? That's pretty good scoring efficiency. In terms of points per minute. I wouldn't say the actual efficiency, but...
Listen, hey, he gets buckets.
He does. Call him Michael Beasley.
All of his coaches hate him, but he gets buckets.
Maybe that's a red flag, but
yeah,
not
maybe.
Not
but
for
also,
our team.
These are Brooklyn Nets coaches we're talking about, so not really an org I trust their opinion on much. I guess they got McHale right, but otherwise, no.
That's fair. He's the first guy since Josh Smith to play 83 games in a season.
Yeah, because he played 4 seconds. Which, by the way, people are upset about. I don't have a problem with it because the point it's he was available for the game.
Yeah,
like he could have played the game, and I feel like that's a fine. It's fine to play your 4 seconds and just be like, hey, like if the game mattered, he clearly would have played. Like if they still had to secure 6. So I didn't have a problem with that. It's like he's able to play. Like, well, why not? Like, whatever. That's fine. Good for McHale and his insane Iron Man streak of not missing any games.
Yeah, I support it. I support it. I'm Team McHale to the Bucks, so it's all good.
Kind of think the Blazers might sniff around, which is pretty.
Yeah, see what they can get for Dame.
See what they can get for Shaden Sharp and another lottery pick and et cetera and et cetera.
I can't wait. Did you see Dame drop some quotes about I don't know if I'm geared up to be with these guys?
He said he's not. He said he's not. Their whole org. I mean, I was listening the another Hoop Collective plug.
Ooh.
Fun show, dude. Honestly, the whole Joe Cronin was like, "Yeah, we're not doing this again," and Chauncey was like, "I can't wait to have a team that I can really show what I've learned as a coach." I was like, Jesus. So yeah, that's gonna be a big summer there. I think
it's okay. That Dame loyalty quote's gonna hit so hard in like a week.
There will be teams sniffing around Khris Middleton, is what I learned from listening to that episode, though. They didn't name Khris, but the Blazers need a star. The Mavs need to do something. The Lakers always will. The Heat are always sniffing around. Like, there's teams that really need some sort of star, and I just don't know what's going to be out there this summer. It sounds like Beal's not moving. I think the Bulls could sneakily get a lot of stuff for some of these guys, but I doubt they will.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting offseason to say the least, depending on how this playoff run goes, Ty.
Real quick, Jae Crowder in those 2 games looked good. Played a lot. They wanted to get his conditioning going. The shot looked good. The passing, scoring at the rim looked a little better. The defense looks good. Very excited that he's getting his minutes up. I think he's going to be ready to play a big role, maybe even start this playoff run. Really excited about the way he's looked overall and what he adds to this Bucks team.
For sure. I don't know if I've said this on the pod or not, but I most people know I don't own any Bucks gear, Bucks jersey, anything. If the Bucks win the title this year, I'm getting a custom Bossman 99 jersey.
Oh, that's fire. I like that a lot.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Guaranteed.
Have you picked out which one?
No.
It's really sad they don't have the Cream City anymore.
Oh my God,
the Cream City Boss Man would have gone
in. Hard.
Yeah. We should have had the foresight to order those a couple years ago just in case.
Yeah, we should.
Could you imagine me on a pod after they traded for Jae Crowder if I had my ordered in 2019 Boss Man 99 Cream City jersey? Oh, man.
That would be the biggest flex of all time.
That would be in a case, I think. Boss
You
Man.
You don't tell anyone that you did it, too. You're just waiting.
That would
be
insane. Yeah, because you can't order them anymore. So, man. Anyway.
It's like, by the way, guys, I have this. You show the date of your purchase as well.
I knew.
I've been knowing. That'd be the biggest flex of all time.
That'd be a huge flex.
But yeah, Boss Man looked great. Just seeing the offensive versatility that he has in terms of his passing, what he can do a little bit off the bounce, off the catch. It's good to see. He's still getting acclimated to this team. And I don't know, he'll be a fun addition, especially if Grayson, Chris, and Pat are a little hobbled to start the playoff.
Yeah. One more interesting note I wanted to mention. Something Marcus Johnson said I want to dig into with you here before we move on to the play-in games. So he said, even if Chris is a little banged up, he's basically saying, I think the Bucks are going to be good because they have these 4 players. Giannis, correct. Drew, sure. Brook Lopez, yep. Core 4, DPOY, should be DPOY, sure. Bobby Portis was the 4th name that Marcus said because of the way his scoring has been heating up, what he's been doing lately for the team. And I was like, I think it's so – Bobby's role in all of this is so fascinating because on the one hand, he is certainly the best scorer after the core 4. I mean, Bobby is – it's pretty unquestionable.
He might be the best scorer after the big 3.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't know if who's scoring more, him or Brook this year. It's probably kind of close. I think Brook probably just for minutes, but – based on what he the way different ways he can score when he's on, The problem is he's not always on. But I think this could be a bigger playoff run maybe for Bobby than we're expecting, especially if Khris is a little hobbled. Like, if he's able to continue being like a 20 and 12 guy off the bench in limited minutes, but just giving you that almost every game, that I think probably makes the Bucks a little unbeatable, because those lulls on offense are what gets the better of them. If Bobby's able to bring that more consistently, I was thinking about it more. I was like, that is pretty intriguing. I hope they can get more out of his skill set. Also, his threes have been looking a lot better over the tail end of the regular season.
I've noticed, and the listeners have also noticed a trend of guys shooting performances going up after they've appeared on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Bobby does a full Euro step. He's shooting 50-50, 100 the playoff run is what I'm hearing. So
that's what I'm hearing. But also to talk about the scoring, in 30.4 minutes per game, Brook Lopez is averaging 15.9 points. In 26 minutes a game, Bobby Portis is averaging 14.1. So Bobby, the more efficient, the more
per minute,
per minute score, higher per minute scoring.
Has he got to be what, like third on the team per minute?
I'd assume so.
I would guess it's Giannis, Khris, or Giannis, Drew, or maybe Khris still. Actually, I would bet it's Giannis, Drew, Bobby. I'm going to pull up the per 36. No, Giannis, Khris, Drew, Lindell, Bobby. Shout out to Lindell.
Lindell Wigginton.
Bobby per 36, though, is 19, 13 boards, 2 assists. Effective season, up to 37% from 3 now.
Yeah, especially after we started off cold. And one thing I was worried about with Bobby Portis' 3-point shot coming back is he going to have to sacrifice his 2-point percentage for that? And even though that's probably dipped a little bit, he's turning into he's become this all around scoring threat. Like, he can hit you in the post, he can hit you on your turnarounds, he can get those catch and shoot threes, he can do whatever he needs you to do. So it's Bobby Portis. I agree with Marcus. I think Bobby Portis is like a major weapon for this team. He has been all season. It's just unfortunate that we saw when Bobby Portis had that injury, the Bucks go on a winning streak. Yeah. And you say, oh, it's because Bobby is, it's because Bobby's out. No, it's probably because Khris Middleton came back. Yeah. And not because of Bobby Portis being injured. And it's wild, like when Khris Middleton and Bobby Portis play, hey, wow, this team is pretty damn good. Yeah. It's almost like it's not automatic correlation equals causation, because there's external factors affecting the likelihood and outcomes as well. Lesson for all of you out there.
Yeah. I also think I think Bobby's added that baseline runner has been a really good shot for him. I really like the way he's incorporated that. Maybe he gets chased off the 3-point line too easily sometimes. Although, again, the last couple of weeks, it feels like he's knocking him down a lot more consistently. But when he gets to that baseline, if he gets any space, which, given the rest of the Bucks' offensive weapons, there's usually some space around Bobby, he is like cashing those at a very high clip. That's been pretty exciting to see. Just like anytime someone gets a move that they're like, oh yeah, you can really trust him on that, that's good. And of course, Bobby's always had good post footwork and had that mid-range jumper, but sometimes I think he defaults to shooting a little too far away, even if he does have space. I feel like he's making an effort to get a little closer before he lets go of the shot, and I think it's helped him a lot.
Especially considering he's not the most contact-heavy finisher, so it's if he gets chased off the 3-point line, your major inclination is oh, I'm going to go attack the rim now. That's not really Bobby's game. So hitting that little runner, especially considering when he's tried to do that in the past, he's he's gotten charges because he just runs into the guy. But he's really stepped it up, because he's starting to go up higher. He's starting to use vertical momentum instead of just horizontal momentum to sort of get that little runner floater off. And it's become a really effective shot. I'm glad you brought that up, Ty.
Thank you. And the shooting thing, to put some numbers to that, Bobby shot 35.7% in March from 3, which is not great. 60% in 4 April games. So he was knocking him down. Also in April, Bobby just casually averages 20 and 10 and over an assist per game. So he has been that microwave scorer. I mean, he's taken over some games, especially when guys were sitting out. So hopefully if there is any lull with Grayson or even Khris playing, Bobby can step up and continue to be that, because I do think even if defensively he's not a guy you want closing games, there's always going to be value in someone being able to come in and just get buckets. And I think especially for the Bucks, that's something they've struggled with. If Bobby can just go in there and give you 10 points in a quarter here or there, that's going to be a big deal.
It is going to be a big deal. Man, this team is so deep.
I know.
They're so deep. This is going to be a generational playoff run for the Milwaukee Bucks, Ty. Should we talk about play-in now?
Yeah, let's talk about the play-in.
Potentially going to face. Should we do both conferences or just East?
Let's do both. We'll start with the East, but we can do the West later too. I'm going to do my picks as well, so I'll tweet this later too. But every postseason, before each round, I'm going to do the play-in as its own round. I pick the each series, and it's $1 per game off, and it multiplies. So first is $1, second is $2, etc. And basically, it's $1 per game off, and if you get the series wrong, it's your game's pick plus the other one. So that's when it really gets you. I would encourage other people to do this too. I donate the total amount to charity at the end. I am going for the Drew and Lauren Holiday Foundation to benefit Black-owned businesses and startups, which I think is very important. But, pick your own charity. Feel free to do that one or a different one if you want to join me in this. But it is a fun way to track all the series. So I'm excited to get that started again this year. I think the first round in the West, I might be eating some ramen later this month because it's going to be some pretty tightly contested series out there. I don't think I'm going to get most of those right. But for the play-in, let's start with 7-8, Miami, Atlanta. I feel strongly Miami will win this in Miami.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a Miami game. The Hawks are in shambles. We already have some reporting that I think it was from KOC that the Hawks have greenlit. You can go seek Trae Young trades, maybe.
Whoa, I didn't see that.
I could be wrong. Let me fact check that.
I saw somebody I was in a group chat where someone was saying it's like throwing out trades, but I didn't really know why. That would be very Hawks to just put that out there. Yeah, just right before we play. Yeah, no,
it's real. It's real.
So KOC reported that they're letting people sniff around Trae Young, basically.
Yes.
Huh. There's a player I don't want anywhere near my team. The
season's not over for the Hawks also.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, the Mavericks said, you know what? Josh Green needs rest. We're not gonna try anymore, Luka. Sorry.
You know what'd be fun? Trae Young for Luka. Who says no?
I'm gonna say the Mavs pretty quickly. But I think the road teams have barely ever won in the play-in games. I think the home teams have won almost all of the games, if I remember. Maybe the third game, not always, but I think in the first two, I think 7 and 9 have a big advantage historically. It's been 2 years, but
yeah, and especially considering the Clippers were a weird team last year where they were without Paul George.
Yeah,
and then
which is happening again, by the way.
Yeah,
they're not in the play-in, but
at least they have Kawhi this time.
Yeah. To start the series,
and whatever's going on with Bones Highland and Mason Plumlee,
funniest beef ever.
I saw someone say they're just debating who's the greatest Nugget ever.
Yeah,
between them. But yeah, Miami, I believe takes this game pretty easily. The Hawks are kind of in shambles.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
I don't trust them at all. I mean, Miami, they have the best player out of this play-in bunch.
Yep.
I think they should be able to wrap this up pretty easily. But then again, the Heat have been a very weird team, so I could see them losing by 40.
I couldn't. I also think what plays into this, I mean, you can still make the playoffs if you lose this first game. I think if you're Miami, and I know I've talked about this from the Bucks perspective, I think you've got to be pretty motivated to play Boston versus Milwaukee because they have historically had pretty good success against Boston. Again, that crazy Celtics team, they brought them to 7 games and almost won the series last year. Versus Milwaukee, I just think the spacing just dooms them against the Bucks. So I feel like the Heat have to be focused on winning this. And then, hey, let's give Boston some real competition in the first round versus Milwaukee, where we know Giannis and Brook are going to take away everything. And unless Jimmy and Bam decide to start shooting threes all of a sudden, it's just going to be so hard for them to score.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I don't trust any of these teams.
I trust Miami the most. I just don't like them against the Bucks. But I think they win. I'm picking Miami for sure. Miami in 1.
Miami in 1 against Atlanta. Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe pick. I think that's the easiest of these 3 games to really predict.
I have no idea where I'm going with Toronto, Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know either. This could go either way. I guess I might go Chicago.
I wanted to, so it'd be more fun. I'm going to go Toronto. The Bulls
Nick Nurse already quit.
I know. Some of their team did too. I mean, they just got drubbed twice in a row by the Celtics. But The Bulls quit too. They didn't play anyone against the Mavs. They won that game by default. I don't think either of these teams cares, to be honest.
Well, the Bulls were already locked in. I guess the Raptors were too. But I'm saying I'm saying that the Bulls have the higher ceiling.
Well, the Raptors could have moved up to 8 until like the very last day, I think. They finished with the same record as Atlanta. I mean, it must have not been over for too long.
No.
They could have moved up in those Celtics games where they were pretty lifeless. That much is clear.
Well,
I just they don't want to be here.
I'll take the Bulls then. I'll take the Bulls.
I'll take the Raptors. We can face off in this depressing ass game.
That is going to be the worst high stakes game I could ever imagine.
Just DeMar. I guess DeMar in Toronto. That's probably your best bet. Is right. DeMar goes home and goes off.
Yeah.
Cool.
I could see that happening.
I mean,
DeMar going off for 50 to eliminate the Raptors would be a fun story.
It would. I know you don't care. I would rather not see the Raptors because I think it's just an annoying first round for the Bucks. So I would rather the Bulls win because I mean, it's Bulls-Hawks. It's like, okay, then I'm with you on Bucks in 4. Like, I don't think. I know I said in 5 against Atlanta. This cleaner bill of health has me thinking they're just going to sweep, especially if they are fired up to start. Those teams just can't defend them at all. Like, no shot. Whereas at least Toronto can play some defense in the post and everything else. So I would like if the Bulls won, but I think the Raptors will win. I've got $1 on this, Rohan. I can't just pick for the memes here.
I'm not even picking for the memes. I think the Bulls have a higher offensive ceiling. They already have good defense.
Yeah, it's weirdly.
Yeah, they have a higher offensive ceiling. They have the higher ceiling for their offensive players. I think they have more potential to have an outlier performance because of the talent that they have. And I really want Milwaukee to play Chicago again.
I would like that too. I think that's
the less travel for the Bucks in round 1 is going to be elite.
Can it be called a revenge series for the Bucks if they're pissed they lost 1 game?
I think so. I think Grayson's going to go off again. Alex Caruso's injured, isn't he?
I think he's going to be ready.
I've heard, Ty, that he's the best perimeter defender in the NBA. No question.
I
think John Hollinger never wants to work in a front office again.
He's got it locked down. The trade for Alex Caruso, go right ahead. Drew Holiday, I just think there's no one even close personally, but whatever. Okay, so then, I guess we have to pick technically a different third game here. Again, this is then this is the game that decides who the Bucks play. They will find out. I think the West. I think Denver finds out the later that night. The Bucks are one of the last 2 teams to find out who they will play,
which is why they play Sunday instead of Saturday.
Exactly. So they
find out on Friday.
Yeah, they'll find out on Friday. Is it really not till Friday? I thought it was Thursday. Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure it's Friday, but I can check.
Either way, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is Friday. So Friday night, it will be the loser of Miami Atlanta against the winner of Toronto Chicago. So according to our picks, we have Atlanta playing either Toronto or Chicago. Who do you have winning your version of that, Rohan?
I think, unfortunately, Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think when I mentioned offensive ceilings, I think Atlanta has a higher offensive ceiling than Chicago. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to be close for sure, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm going to pick Atlanta by default because I think do they have the best player in that game?
No.
Who's the best player in that game?
I think DeRozan is the best player in that game.
That's fair.
Trey is the best player if you like box scores. If you like, 30 and 10 and they went 500 again. That's crazy. Really cool. Really good. All NBA player because he loses half the time. Congrats. Doesn't move me.
Yeah, it's a tough call. That's why I'm saying maybe because Atlanta will be the home team, they have a little bit of an advantage there. Yeah,
I think that. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because I don't want to. If I pick Atlanta, I'm just picking chalk every game, which is boring. If I pick Toronto, I'm then picking Bucks Raptors, which I don't want. I kind of wish I'd pick Chicago.
You can still change your mind, Ty.
No, I'll just take the Hawks. I'll be boring. God, that game would suck.
I'm doing Hawks over Bulls.
No, you know what? I'll pick the Raptors. I think they would win. I just think the Hawks are losers. I just think they're losers.
So are the Raptors. So are the Bulls.
I know, but I think they're.
So are the Heat.
I think the Hawks are more losers.
Fair. They're whiny losers. How about that?
Yeah, they just don't move me at all. I think the Raptors have been pretty good since they got an actual team together. Their stupid experiment failed, and they got a good center, and suddenly they're like except they're not energized. They lost all their energy because their coach is quitting on them after running them into the dirt for 5 years.
These games. Like, hey guys, by the way, I'm putting so many miles on your legs. Also, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. Good luck with the rest of your careers.
The East play-in sucks. The only reason the West play-in probably won't pertain to us at all. I want to talk about it because the games actually are fun. This play-in sucks. The bottom of the West is definitely better than the bottom of the East.
Yeah, the top of the East is better than the top of the West, but the bottom of the West is better than the bottom of the East.
And the midsection too. I mean, starting at 4, it's like Suns, Clippers, Warriors. It's like, okay, that's a pretty convincing middle.
It is. They have a very
balanced.
They have a very balanced economy, something that Steph Curry probably wouldn't like.
Nice.
You know what I learned, by the way? I don't know who told me this. That the houses that Steph Curry was complaining about are like $2-3 million houses.
Those are broke boy houses for him, though.
And it's like, what is happening here?
NIMBY Steph.
Ridiculous. But regardless, the best 3 teams, I think, in the NBA are in the Eastern Conference, so I think it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. I mean, yeah, there's not going to be the 10 best teams in the East.
Okay, but for the West play-in, for the 7-8 matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the fighting Minnesota Timberwolves. And then in the 9-10, we have the Pelicans versus the Thunder. The Mavericks are out. No reason to say that. I just wanted to say it again. So for Lakers-Wolves, I think it's hard to pick against the Lakers right now, considering Jaden McDaniels broke his hand.
Yeah.
He punched a wall. Rudy Gobert punched Kyle Anderson, got sent home to France.
Not quite. Maybe little France somewhere in Minnesota. Not quite real France.
But just what the hell is happening, Ty?
The Wolves, it's like they're riding the bike and they just grab the stick and put it in their spokes for no reason at all. Just a stupid horror. And they won the game because Ant is that good. And Kat had a really good game too. And I was kind of like, maybe you should send Gobert home for the next game. Maybe that would be a good thing. They probably need him for Anthony Davis, who's playing quite well right now. But yeah, I know. It sucks because, we talked about the Lakers a decent amount, just kind of giving people a heads up, like, hey, they might actually be good now. And I think people get sick of hearing about them. They're clearly the best team in either play-in, and I think they're going to stomp all over the Wolves. That said, I mean, big moment for Ant and Kat, honestly. I'm not ruling the Wolves out entirely, but I am going to pick the Lakers for sure.
Do you think Gobert plays? I don't.
Yeah, I do. I think they already put it out there that, heat of the moment, whatever.
I think didn't Gobert have like a fake apology too? He was like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have reacted, regardless of what was said."
Yeah.
I mean, what was said? According to Woj, he was like, "Hey, dude, block some shots. Hey, dude, grab a rebound."
Called him an F and B as well. That came out. Woj tweeted it, and I really want to hear Woj say the quote.
He censored one word, but not the other. And it was funny.
Woj is respectful.
Is he?
No.
Yeah,
no,
I was like, why are you censoring the F word but not the B word?
Oh, I had it backwards. I didn't remember he's disrespectful, which we did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Woj is a rapper.
Woj is out here. He's that meme with the waves in an AirPod.
Oh boy.
I don't know what's happening, but it's just so weird to see what the Wolves are doing. Like it's just absolute chaos. I think the Lakers should easily win this game.
Yeah.
D'Lo revenge game too.
LeBron's looking good again. Davis looks great. Yeah, I think the Lakers are going to be a problem for Memphis too. In the first round.
Yeah. I think it'd be really funny. We just can't let Shannon Sharp in the building for any of those games, I don't think.
Oh, LeBron should bring him to every game.
Yeah, LeBron should bring him to every game. Just have maximum chaos. I'm fine with that.
They bring him and then a bunch of high schoolers, and there's no way Ja can go a whole series without getting thrown out. What?
Put some polls up, see what Ja does.
Hey, man. John needs to make some better choices. We'll see. Hopefully going forward he will. Okay, the second game, New Orleans, Oklahoma. Zion's not playing ever. He plays 24 games a year. Kind of weird. I was like, oh, they were in, I don't know if it was Zach Lowe or somebody was like, oh, nobody wants to see if Zion's back in the first round. It was like, I don't know, man. I think they'd be okay. He's a great player, but I don't think he's unstoppable in a playoff format. We just don't really know.
Looks really good, though.
Yeah, this week. That's kind of the whole problem with the Pelicans. I'm taking the Thunder.
Yeah, I'm 100% taking the Thunder.
Wow, I didn't think you would.
Yeah, I'm taking the Thunder. They have the best player outside of LeBron James in these, and they might just have the best player. They might just have the best player.
They might.
I mean, LeBron looks better, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander might be first team All NBA.
I think he should be first team All NBA this year.
He's one of the 6 30-point scorers in the league. He's a dynamic player, dynamic playmaker, can get to the rim with ease. He has a plethora of moves to go to. I gotta rep Oklahoma. That's where my parents came when they first came to the U.S.
Oh, nice.
They lived in Oklahoma, so I got a soft spot for the city.
That's right.
And the state. I'm going all the way. Oklahoma City, baby.
There you go. Well, I'm not going all the way, but I do say they beat the Pelicans. I think the Wolves beat them in the next round.
I think the Thunder beat the Wolves.
I think they're too young. I think the Wolves.
So are the Wolves.
No, they're not. I mean, they have Rudy Gobert. They have Slow-Mo. They have all these other.
They're gonna. Yeah, that's the problem. They have Rudy Gobert and Slow-Mo. Those two are gonna deck each other in the game.
I mean, I think they'll squash it. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll get in another fight the next game, and the Wolves will be in true chaos. But I think. I like Shai better than Ant right now. I don't think it's a huge difference, though. Like, I think Ant is really getting to be close to that level as well. And I just think the Wolves, for as uninspiring as they are, they do have a much better and deeper cast. I love Shai and J-Dub. I just don't think there's enough there to get it done. I think it'd be fun, but...
I mean, are we undervaluing the Jaden McDaniels absence?
No.
Who's their best perimeter defender, then?
Ant, probably.
Ant?
Yeah.
And then are you just... I guess
who's the Thunder's best big man? This is my issue with the Thunder.
Yeah, okay, fine.
The other Jalen Williams. Sorry, other Jalen Williams, but that's it. That's all they have. They needed to get a center, and they just didn't do it.
They traded away Mike Muscala, who maybe would have helped.
Would have helped a lot, actually. What's
Serge Ibaka doing?
He's just vibing. We know he's just vibing. Maybe, I mean, it will be hilarious, though, if, like, Isaiah Joe just hits a dozen threes and they get into
Exactly. They have the variance factor. I think the entire world glossed over that the Lakers signed Tristan Thompson.
I did. I never saw. When did that happen?
Yeah, it happened like 2 days ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you get got?
Did I get got? I don't think I got.
He's been on shows all year.
No way. Did I get got? I'm gonna be so upset if I got got.
No, they did. They signed Tristan Thompson and Shaq Harrison.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna be like
22 hours ago. What? This is insane. Did they play in the last game? No, they didn't.
I don't think so.
What? Wow.
I told you. They signed Tristan Thompson.
He last played in 21-22. I don't know if you know this, Rohan, but the year is now 2023. They had an open roster spot. Why wouldn't they sign him earlier? Sorry, I have too many ESPN hits this week, but I'm not going to be in playoff coverage, so if you guys want to sign me then. Is that what happened?
I guess so.
That's insane.
Jeannie Buss didn't want to pay him for the full salary?
Sure. I mean, if Tristan Thompson's playing in a real... Maybe I'll pick against them after all. That's weird.
I mean, good for Shaq Harrison, but like...
Yeah, Shaq, Thompson. Whatever. Shaq Harrison at least played this year.
Yeah.
And played for the South Bay Lakers.
I'm taking the Thunder all the way, though.
To beat the Nuggets?
No, yeah. I think the Thunder are making the finals.
Thunder Bucks finals.
And I might pick the Thunder then. No, Thunder over the Wolves.
Do you want to look at the first round at all? The rest of it?
Sure, a little bit. We can bounce around.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bucks, we're going to favor in 4. You bullied me into it over whoever they play. I'll take them in 5 against Toronto, but I won't tell you that right now. I think let's do the quicker ones first. I mean, if we get it, I might, just for like first round, bold take for the fun of my bracket, I think I would pick Miami in 7 over Boston. I don't really believe it, but I would pick it. Try to manifest it.
I don't believe it, but I think there's like a non-zero chance of it happening.
Yeah. I think it's a good matchup for Miami. I just don't think they're good enough, but Jimmy has been sensational this year. I would look forward to that series. Philly, Brooklyn is horrible. No one should care.
Can you imagine if we got that like 2 years ago, though?
I know. That's what people at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
It would have been Katie and Kyrie versus Embiid and Harden, and we just didn't get it.
Ben Simmons
exists somewhere, yeah.
Technically, it's wild. Ben Simmons is on this team still, but he's just not going to play. He's
shut down already for the season. Just sad. But if Brooklyn takes a game, that's an upset, and I would be happy if they did it. But they're bad. They're not.
Mikal Bridges revenge game also.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I think his mom might still work for the Sixers. He has inside info.
Ooh, and you know, moms, they're going to give it to this.
Yeah.
But, moms are the best. Shout out moms.
Shout out moms. But this is the worst first round series by far.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think Knicks Cavs is probably maybe the best.
It's good.
It's the best in the East for sure.
Yeah, like most compelling. Probably.
I can see. It's just like, I think the Cavs win the series.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's probably going to be in like 6 games, but I can see it being a really close 6 games.
Yeah, I could see it going the other way as well. I'm going to pick Cavs. Same. I'm pretty sure. I think it's going to be tight. I do agree with you on that. Like, I'd be really surprised if one team walked away with all their wins.
Yeah, it'll be a good matchup to say the least. The East outside of that matchup is pretty much chalk.
We would be pretty happy if the Knicks won, right?
Oh, we'd be ecstatic.
I think that's a better matchup for the Bucks. Yeah, just without the size to really.
Yeah, because it's like who's the best bit? Like it's Giannis and Brook versus Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. I'll take that over Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. But.
Yeah, even if I still think the Bucks are going to make the Cavs' lives offensively really, really hard with their personnel, the Cavs can do kind of the same, and I think that is just trickier.
It's that meme where it's like the Cavs like to play big and physical, and the Bucks are like, joke's on you, I'm into that shit.
Exactly. That is literally that series. Like that's like, yeah, okay, us too, but more so. Like us too, but better.
You think you know darkness? I was born in the shadows.
So yeah, I think I like the Bucks. I obviously like the Bucks' chances of getting through to the conference finals without getting pushed too hard. I think the Cavs would take probably 2 games, but I like the Bucks. And I think the Knicks, that might be Bucks in 5, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think it's a sweep in the second round, but it should be fairly simple for Milwaukee. But yeah, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We want to talk about the West here.
And we'll preview each series as well. We're not going to, even though we think the first round will be a walkover, we'll still preview the matchups and everything too. So
GSPN is going to be in full force for this postseason, as we always kill it with, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we kill it with postseason content.
It's deserved.
And we do it all for you guys.
Yeah.
But Nuggets versus the... Yeah, tell a friend, share the show. Like, I mean, if you enjoy the content, I'm sure someone else will, and that helps us out a lot. So it'd be appreciated.
Yeah.
Nuggets versus who did I say was the 8th seed? The Thunder.
Okay, maybe that's the worst. I mean, it's going to be pretty bad too.
Yeah, the Nuggets are going to get absolutely clapped.
The Thunder trying to guard Jokic is going to be pretty funny.
Okay, yes, as much as it has been a bit, that would be it would be like. Very, very, very bad for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and just the way how hard it is to win in Denver. I just think Denver is they should win the West. I don't think they will, but they should.
Grizzlies, Lakers, that we both think is going to happen.
I'm taking Lakers.
I might take the Lakers as well.
I'm taking Lakers. I mean, the Grizzlies are good. They have big playoff problems. I think Steven Adams' loss is going to hurt, and
Brandon Clark,
LeBron, AD, D'Lo, like good role players now. Austin Reeves is actually a good player. He's not as good as the media is going to say he is. This is the Caruso thing again, but he is a good player.
I think Bron and AD exacerbate Jaren Jackson Jr.'s foul problems as well.
Yeah, especially if he has to play center. I mean, they don't have enough big guys now. So.
Especially, like Brandon Clark, Steven Adams being out. It's just
a huge deal for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, David Tillman.
He's in, right? They have him.
Is he?
I think he's around. I think he played against the Bucks.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong though.
But that's it though for their bigs base. I mean now they have Kenny Lofton too. But if Kenny Lofton,
man put up 42 points.
I saw him play against the Herd. The Herd had nothing for him. Like
he's a big dude.
He's huge. He's really good in the post.
Oh yeah, he's got the moves. He's like if Drew Timmy's game actually translated.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the extent of my college basketball.
Yeah, that's good. That's good
I used it all right there.
I like that. So, unfortunately, the Lakers have old Caitlin Clark and LeBron, so it's going to be kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
she's good. Excited to watch her.
No. Like my women's knowledge is way better than my men's knowledge.
Oh no, I wasn't saying you didn't know. I was just saying Caitlin Clark.
No,
very good.
Yes. And then Kings Warriors.
I think this is going to be the best series in the first. I think it's going to be 170 every game, but I'm excited for it.
It's going to be the best series in the entire first round, like you mentioned. I'm so excited for the Kings tie. I'm so excited. They've been the best story in the league, and like their fans are electric.
They are
electric. Like the Golden One Center. It just erupts every time they've been good. And it's just like in my basketball watching like career,
life
tenure, I guess. The Kings have never been good. Like I've never seen a good Kings team since I've started watching NBA basketball. And I'm really excited. I've watched the old games about like the Mike Bibby Kings and stuff. Like the white chocolate Chris Webber Kings, and it's just like, man, that atmosphere looks so freaking fun, and I'm excited to see it back.
I think they have a shot to win this. I know everyone in the West in that middle tier wanted 6 to get this matchup. I think they have a chance. I honestly think the whole series is going to come down to how much can Sabonis score on Draymond. Like if Draymond can shut down Sabonis to a certain extent, I think the Kings don't have enough. But they're so fast. I think the Warriors is a bad draw for them. Like whereas I picked the Lakers on Grizz, I think I would pick the Kings over the Lakers because I think that speed would bother the Lakers more. The Warriors are so perimeter focused. I think they can handle it. I don't know what my pick is gonna be here yet. I still need to think about it more. I think it's gonna be a good series though. I'm leaning Warriors.
I think I'm going Kings.
It's going to be – I'm excited for it. Draymond's beam talk if the Warriors win is going to be insufferable. But
the beam being lit after a playoff win is going to be incredible.
That's going to be good. I think if the Kings win the first –
should think about installing a laser if they're bad, by the way.
It just solves the problem. If they're bad. I think if the Kings win the first 2 games, they'll win the series. I think if they drop one, they won't.
I think that's a pretty good take.
Yeah. Phoenix Clippers. Really honestly, sad Paul George is out because this had the potential to be an all-time series.
Yeah, but even without it, I think honestly the Clippers have a chance.
They have a chance. I mean, if he can get back at some point, if he can get back and Kawhi,
they didn't rule him out for the entire first round.
No, that's like if they can get him back for their home games. I don't know. Kawhi. I think what's gone under the radar. Kawhi has been very good since All-Star. Yeah,
he's back.
But I don't think he's the same guy defensively, and I think they kind of need him to be against Booker and KD. So I think the Suns are going to win this in 5, to be honest. I just don't think the Clippers have it. I don't trust the Clippers. I don't trust the Suns either, but I don't trust the Clippers more.
I think Suns in 6 or 7, but Suns.
Yeah. And then it's going to be Suns Nuggets. The Nuggets better win that series, man.
Yeah.
They should.
They should.
I'm glad Kevin Wayne is in the other conference, though. I will tell you that.
I'm so glad
Kevin Wayne and another superstar in the second round sucks, dude.
it's not fun. Welcome to our world, Jokic.
Whew.
It's almost like MVPs persevere and go through it.
Well, we'll see. Maybe
Ty. I've heard he's a 2-time MVP with no All-Stars. He shouldn't have any expectation.
I hate that line of thinking. I do think the Nuggets would win that series, but I don't love their chances while saying that. I think it's like the thinnest possible margin.
I think the Suns are winning the West.
God, if the Lakers win the West, that's going to be something else.
I will. It's you can't. Going outside will be difficult.
There would be, I mean, narrative-wise, LeBron Giannis would be a pretty fun finals, though.
Oh yeah, it would be. It'd be really fun for the Bucks.
Yeah, I like the Bucks in that matchup. To be honest with you, I really do.
I like the Bucks a lot in that matchup.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good one for Milwaukee, I think.
So maybe go Lakers.
Yeah, honestly, I'd almost rather see Phoenix than Denver.
Yeah, I think so.
I just feel like the Bucks are more comfortable playing. Like, oh, okay, you have KD, another perimeter guy. We're used to playing Booker. We're used to playing KD. We know it's going to be a struggle, but we kind of know. I mean, it's a different team, but it's still the same Phoenix team that never gets free throws. We're going to be more physical, get to the basket, make you shoot over, etc. I mean, I never want to see KD, but Denver, it's just like, I don't know. The Bucks having home court helps a lot there. It's so hard to win in Denver, though, and I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, the Bucks have TA, so anything's possible.
That's true. I think Giannis on Jokic is what they need to do eventually, which gets sticky in its own right. It's hard to play the Nuggets well. I would rather have a different team take care of it.
Exactly. I think that's the sentiment. But it's time, Ty. Playoffs are here. I guess the play-in's here.
Play-ins. Not playoffs.
Which, by the way,
postseason basketball.
It's so funny that the play-in games just don't count in terms of like NBA history.
They're gone.
Like they're erased from history. They don't exist.
People were talking about like, oh, the Hornets were 10th twice and lost. I was like, I have no memory of that at all. Like these games really outside of that.
And I'm saying the stats don't count.
No, I know. They're just gone. Yeah. Because they're not playoffs, but they're not regular season. They're postseason. Nope. Somewhere the mid-season tournament stats will join them. Actually, no, I think those are going to be regular season games, so probably not.
The people's biggest misconception about the in-season tournament is that it's going to add games to the regular season, which it's not. I think it's going to add like one game to each of the
finalists. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I've always been pro mid-season tournament. But
yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. $500K a player, I think the players will be motivated.
Yeah, I mean, $500K. I mean, the All-Star game, I think, is more than that, and they don't really play, but...
I mean, $500K a player on the roster, so it's like a min guy's getting like a third of his salary.
Yeah. It'll be fine. I don't think it'll be a huge hit, but I think it'll be fine.
It's like, that's like the two-way salary.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much those... I mean, if the two-way guys are playing a lot in that game, then you're probably not getting your desired outcome anyway, but...
Yeah. But it'll be interesting for sure, but the postseason is right around the corner. The play-in games start tomorrow.
Yeah, Tuesday, right?
April 11th. It'll be fun to see. We will have all this playoff coverage, Bucks, everything NBA here at GSPN. Check out gspn.info for all the links. Ty, I'm doing the outro. Do we have anything else to say?
No, I don't. Listen to Cruising for a Bruising. The Brewers are really good. We dropped an episode in here. A lot of people listen to it, so appreciate that. Go subscribe to Cruising for a Bruising. Make sure you're tuned in as Adam and Andrew cover the Brewers like only they can. Literally, there is no other Brewers podcast that is like Cruising for a Bruising. So check that out.
The best.
The kids are good. The Brewers kids. Those Adam and Andrew are old, but the Brewers kids are really good and exciting. So listen to a couple of old guys talk about them. Who wouldn't want that?
Who wouldn't want that? Just love the casual Adam and Andrew.
Andrew will hear it. He'll alert Adam that Adam would never hear this, but Andrew will.
We're going to hear this like
Andrew.
10 minutes after we wrap somehow, even though like the pod won't be up. We'll hear like, hey, I heard Andrew's going to say in our chat, hey, by the way, I heard you called us old. It's like, bro, this episode's not out yet. How'd you listen to it?
He's on the Nardwar energy.
Andrew is the best. Adam's the best. Make sure you listen to Cruising for a Bruising. Find that link at gspn.info. In addition to all of our other podcasts, Make Time for This, Talk of the Tundra. Win in 6 is also on this feed. Adam and Jordan are going to have you guys covered. We're going to do a lot of collabs. It's going to be a great time. GSPN, we are going to take their content to the moon during the postseason. As always, like I mentioned earlier, tell a friend, like Ty mentioned. It really helps out a lot. And people should enjoy it going into the postseason. So it'll be a win-win situation. But thank you for listening. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening to this podcast platform of choice or watching this on YouTube. Make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Pod Random, and we will talk to you next time.